What happens when desperation meets deception? When prison walls come down, but the lies keep building? Welcome to the dark side of Love After Lockup, where cheating isn't just breaking hearts, it's a full-time occupation. I'm talking double lives, stolen cars, fake pregnancies, and schemes so elaborate they'd make a con artist blush. These aren't your average relationships that fail. These are calculated betrayals that played out on national television, leaving devastation in their wake. Today, we're counting down the 6 most notorious cheaters in Love After Lockup history. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll understand why some people should never be trusted with a prison pen pal account. Hit that subscribe button, because this is about to get messy. Let's dive in. Let me start with the worst offender in Love After Lockup history, Michael Simmons. This man didn't just step out on his partner, he orchestrated a deception so elaborate, it became the gold standard for reality TV villainy. Picture this. Michael is locked up behind bars, writing letters, making phone calls, and building relationships. Nothing unusual for a Love After Lockup storyline, right? Except Michael was doing this with 2 completely different women simultaneously, and neither had any clue the other existed. First, there's Megan Nash. I am 28 years old, a virgin who had saved herself her entire life, waiting for the right person. Michael swooped in with smooth-talking prison charm and convinced Megan that he was that person. He proposed to her from behind bars. She was thrilled, planning their future together, believing she'd found her soulmate. But here's where it gets twisted. At the exact same time, Michael was also engaged to Sarah Simmons. Not just some random woman, Sarah was the mother of his child. They already had an entire history together. And Sarah had absolutely no idea that her man was planning to marry someone else the moment he walked out of those prison gates. When Michael got released, he didn't choose between them. Instead, he decided to have his cake, eat it too, and then order a second dessert. He took Megan's virginity while simultaneously maintaining a full intimate relationship with Sarah. Both women thought they were the only one. Both believed his promises. Both were planning futures with this man. The manipulation is staggering. Think about Megan. She gave him something incredibly precious and meaningful, believing she was in an exclusive, committed relationship heading toward marriage. Meanwhile, Sarah was raising his child and completely committed to their family. But Michael wasn't done. While juggling both relationships, he got Sarah pregnant with their second child. Yes, you heard that correctly. He was creating entire human beings while lying to multiple women about his intentions and commitments. This wasn't casual dating or even typical cheating. This was systematic deception that would affect generations. When the truth finally exploded on screen, the confrontations were brutal. Michael would go back and forth between them, making promises to both, committing to neither. He'd tell Sarah he wanted to be a family man, then turn around and tell Megan she was his true love. The psychological warfare was relentless. Social media absolutely erupted. Fans called Michael every name imaginable, and rightfully so. Articles were written, think pieces were published. Michael Simmons became the poster child for everything wrong with dating someone fresh out of prison without fully understanding their character. What makes his behavior even more egregious is the cold calculation behind it. This wasn't a moment of weakness or a drunken mistake. This was a methodical pattern of manipulation maintained over months, possibly years. He kept detailed track of what he told each woman, maintained separate storylines, and played them against each other when convenient. Even after everything came to light, after the cameras captured every painful moment, Michael still tried to keep both relationships going. It took enormous public pressure, and both women finally reached their breaking points before things truly fell apart. The ripple effects of his actions will last forever. 2 women were emotionally destroyed, children born into chaos, and a reputation as the most notorious villain in Love After Lockup history. Michael Simmons set the bar so low it's underground. But somehow, other cast members tried to dig even deeper. If Michael Simmons is the king of cheating, then Lacey Whitlow is absolutely the queen. But Lacey's approach was different. Instead of hiding her connections, she somehow convinced 2 men to openly fight over her for years, bouncing between them like a toxic ping pong ball. Let me paint the picture. Lacey started the show engaged to John Slater, her high school sweetheart serving time in prison. They had a decade of history together. John thought Lacey was his ride or die, faithfully waiting for his release so they could finally start their life together. But Lacey had other plans. While John was locked up, she discovered prison dating websites and found Shane Whitlow. Another inmate who caught her attention. She began a full relationship with Shane while still engaged to John. The twist? Shane was scheduled to be released first. When Shane got out, Lacey didn't waste a second. She immediately moved in with him. They started a relationship, and Shane proposed. Lacey accepted, which meant she was now engaged to 2 different men. She then broke things off with John, telling him she'd moved on. When John finally got released, he was blindsided. The woman he'd been faithful to had completely replaced him. The pain on his face was devastating. But this is where Lacey's real pattern emerged. Lacey and Shane got married. For a moment, it seemed she'd finally chosen. Then Shane admitted to cheating on her. Instead of working through it or leaving permanently, Lacey decided to get revenge by going back to John. This created one of reality TV's most toxic love triangles. Lacey would be with Shane, things would get rocky, and she'd run to John. John, still in love despite everything, would take her back. Then Shane would apologize, and Lacey would leave John to return to Shane. This cycle repeated endlessly. The most infamous moment came when John and Shane physically fought over Lacey. She seemed to almost enjoy watching these 2 men battle for her affection. It was manipulation theater at its finest. Eventually, Lacey and Shane had a daughter together through IVF in November 2020. Many thought this would end the triangle. It didn't. Lacey was caught messaging John behind Shane's back multiple times. She even admitted to spending an entire night with John while married to Shane. The pattern was clear. Whenever Lacey felt wronged by Shane, she weaponized John. Whenever she wanted security, she returned to Shane. Both men were pawns in her emotional chess game. Shane later accused her of cheating when he took a polygraph test. The test revealed deception. Lacey's response? She reached out to John again, telling him she missed him and proposing they meet up. John, now with a new girlfriend named Julie, finally started setting boundaries. Here's the kicker. Lacey and Shane eventually divorced. And true to form, Lacey immediately married John. The very man she'd strung along for years became her next husband, but even that didn't stick. John was arrested in March 2023, and Shane returned to jail in September 2024. Lacey Whitlow didn't just cheat. She created a perpetual motion machine of emotional destruction that consumed everyone in its path. Her legacy is a love triangle that somehow lasted years, destroyed multiple lives, and kept viewers glued to their screens in horrified fascination. Tony Wood represents a special category of cheater, the kind who doesn't just betray trust, but exploits the person who loves them most while doing it. His relationship with Angela Gale became one of the most frustrating storylines in Love After Lockup history because fans watched Angela get hurt repeatedly while taking him back every single time. Let's set the stage. Angela, a mental health counselor, found Tony on a Facebook page called Prison Inmate Pen Pals World International. Tony was 10 years younger than her. Despite the age gap and distance, Angela financially supported Tony throughout his incarceration, sending him substantial funds and maintaining their connection. From the very beginning, trust issues plagued their relationship. Angela consistently accused Tony of cheating with prostitutes, and she wasn't wrong. When they finally met in person during season 2, Angela's suspicions were immediately validated. The most damning evidence came when Angela took the SIM card from Tony's phone and put it in hers. What she discovered was devastating. Tony had been cheating on her with prostitutes at the hotel where he worked. He'd been giving them free rooms in exchange for sex. This wasn't a one-time mistake. It was a systematic pattern of infidelity happening right under her nose. Despite catching him red-handed, Angela kept forgiving Tony. She'd throw him out, then take him back. The cycle repeated so many times that fans stopped feeling sympathy and started feeling frustration. Even Tony admitted he stayed with Angela out of obligation for her financial support, not out of love. During one heated confrontation, Angela revealed a shocking truth. She never actually filed their marriage license. They weren't legally married. This revelation came after Tony claimed that being away from her was worse than prison. Yet another manipulation tactic. The cheating continued throughout their relationship. Angela would catch Tony texting other women, confront him, and he'd make promises to change. Those promises were always broken. Angela and Tony's divorce was finally finalized in May 2023, 3.5 years after their wedding ceremony. Tony was the one who filed, which tells you everything about how little he valued the relationship. What makes Tony's cheating particularly egregious is the exploitation factor. Angela supported him financially, emotionally, and practically. She gave him jobs, opportunities, and endless chances. Tony Wood didn't just cheat, He treated Angela like an ATM with benefits while actively betraying her trust at every opportunity. His pattern of behavior proves that some people will take everything you offer and still leave you with nothing. Not all cheating is romantic. Sometimes, the biggest betrayal is financial, and Nicole Bradley proved that emotional manipulation can be just as devastating as physical infidelity. Enter Daonte Sierra, a man who fell completely head over heels for Nicole while she was incarcerated. Daonte was smitten. He showered Nicole with lavish gifts, sent her money constantly, and believed wholeheartedly that they were building a future together. The couple even got engaged. Daonte thought he'd found his soulmate. Here's the reality. Daonte gave Nicole $30,000 during their relationship. $30,000. That's not gifts here and there. That's life-changing money for most people. But Nicole had a different agenda. While accepting Daonte's money and gifts, she continued dating her exes behind his back. She maintained multiple relationships simultaneously, stringing Daonte along as her financial safety net while pursuing actual romantic connections elsewhere. The most brutal part? Nicole refused to be intimate with Daonte. He'd committed financially, emotionally, and practically to their relationship, but she kept him at arm's length physically while maintaining intimate relationships with other people. When Daonte finally caught Nicole cheating on him, the truth became undeniable. She wasn't interested in him romantically. He was a mark, someone to fund her lifestyle while she lived her actual life with other people. Love After Lockup fans universally agreed Daonte got played. Nicole had run a long con, and he was the victim. The $30,000 was gone. The engagement was a farce. The entire relationship was built on deception. What makes Nicole's behavior particularly calculated is that she understood exactly what she was doing. This wasn't confusion or mixed signals. She deliberately led Daonte on, accepted substantial financial support, and maintained romantic relationships with multiple other people simultaneously. Daonte's story is a cautionary tale about recognizing when someone values your wallet more than your heart. Nicole Bradley didn't just cheat. She professionally scammed someone who genuinely cared about her, taking his money while giving absolutely nothing real in return. Maurice Gibson's story is particularly heartbreaking because it started with so much hope. Fans genuinely rooted for Maurice and Jessica Gibson during Season 3. Maurice, an LA native, seemed committed to changing his life. Jessica was excited to build a future and start a family. Despite her family's serious reservations, they eventually married and welcomed a son named Malik Wayne Gibson in April 2020. Everything seemed perfect, until Maurice's true character revealed itself. Shortly after being released from prison in April, Maurice violated parole by leaving the state. He ended up in California, supposedly waiting for his parole to transfer to Nevada, where Jessica and their newborn son were waiting. During this separation, Maurice claimed to be lonely, missing his family, and counting down the days until they could reunite. That was a lie. While Jessica was in Las Vegas raising their infant son alone, Maurice started a relationship with a California woman named Mandy. Photos surfaced on Instagram of Maurice and Mandy together. When Jessica discovered the truth, she revealed that she and Maurice had been FaceTiming daily right up until the photos appeared. They hadn't broken up. Maurice had simply started a parallel relationship while his wife raised their baby alone. The betrayal gets worse. Maurice and Mandy suggested they got married, posting what appeared to be wedding photos on social media. Maurice even referred to Mandy as his wife, while still legally married to Jessica. Jessica had to clarify online that Maurice was lying. They were still married, and she hadn't received any divorce paperwork. Maurice's pattern of cheating didn't end with Mandy. He was arrested multiple times in 2022 on serious charges, suggesting he'd return to criminal behavior while juggling multiple relationships. What makes Maurice's cheating particularly devastating is the timing. He abandoned his newborn son and the woman who fought her entire family to be with him, all within months of being released. His legacy isn't just broken hearts, it's broken families. Let's end with Destiny Folsom, whose approach to cheating included grand theft auto and a level of shamelessness that left viewers absolutely stunned. Sean Osbourne had 6 children with his ex Kelly when he found Destiny online through a prison dating service. Despite never having met her in person, Sean fell completely in love. He sent Destiny thousands of dollars while she was incarcerated, convinced they'd build a life together once she was released. Red flags appeared immediately. Destiny claimed she'd gained weight and didn't want to meet Sean until after her release. Sean's coworker Hector openly questioned whether Sean was being catfished, warning that Sean's trusting nature would get him robbed, or worse. When Destiny finally got out, the relationship quickly deteriorated. She was jealous of Sean's co-parenting relationship with Kelly, the mother of his 6 children. She made unrealistic demands. She expected Sean to fund her lifestyle completely while offering nothing in return. The breaking point came during a massive fight. Destiny threw her engagement ring away, grabbed Sean's car keys and credit cards, and drove off in his vehicle. She left Sean stranded without transportation or access to his credit. And then she simply vanished. For weeks, Destiny drove around in Sean's car, using his credit cards to fund her lifestyle. She ignored his calls. She blocked him on social media. She treated his property as her own, while Sean scrambled to report the theft and contact credit card companies. She was arrested for escape, false impersonation, and failure to appear on a felony charge. Even while incarcerated, the drama continued. Reports indicated Destiny was married to someone else named Jason during this entire time. When Destiny was eventually released again, she didn't apologize or make amends. Instead, she threatened to crash Sean's wedding to his new fiancée Sarah unless he paid her $50,000. She claimed Sean owed her for a car he'd promised her and clothes she'd left at his house. What makes Destiny's behavior particularly egregious is the complete lack of accountability. Most cheaters at least pretend to feel remorse when caught. Destiny doubled down, demanded compensation, and continued trying to manipulate the situation for financial gain. Destiny Folsom represents the extreme end of love after lockup cheating. Someone who views relationships as opportunities for theft, treats partners as marks to be conned, and feels entitled to compensation for their own bad behavior. So there you have it, the 6 biggest cheaters in Love After Lockup history. From Michael Simmons' double life to Lacey Whitlow's endless love triangle, from Tony Wood's serial exploitation to Nicole Bradley's $30,000 scam, from Maurice Gibson abandoning his newborn to Destiny Folsom stealing cars and credit cards, these stories prove that prison walls aren't the only thing keeping some people contained. What these stories really reveal is a pattern. When desperation meets opportunity, some people will do absolutely anything to get what they want. Love After Lockup holds up a mirror to the darker side of human relationships. These aren't just reality TV villains. They're cautionary tales about recognizing red flags, protecting yourself emotionally and financially, and understanding that some people simply aren't capable of genuine commitment. The victims in these stories, Megan, Sarah, John, Shane, Angela, Diante, Jessica, Sean, all learned painful lessons about trust, deception, and the cost of ignoring warning signs. Their pain played out on national television, but the emotional scars remain long after the cameras stop rolling. If you learned something from this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more reality TV deep dives. Drop a comment below telling me which cheater shocked you the most, or if there's someone we missed who deserves to be on this list. And remember, when someone shows you who they are, especially if they're showing you from behind bars, believe them. The biggest red flag isn't always what people do when you're watching, it's what they're willing to do when they think you'll never find out. Thanks for watching.